You'll find music all over Ireland, whether it's in the pubs with people singing casually or at a stage performance or just some impromptu street festival. Along with the beautiful scenery and friendly people and historic houses and classic old towns, Ireland adds up to a fabulous country to visit. We recently spent 10 days driving around this great country. We visited Killarney, you see here, with the jaunting carts. We went up to Galway and ran into an arts festival with musicians and films and theatrical performances. Galway is a bustling little city that's a very lively spot for the tourist. Many shops, and it's been a commercial center for the last 700 years. We shall return to Galway later in our season, but for now we're heading north. We're driving up to Connemara, a beautiful peninsula just north of Galway, and we'll spend a full day driving around this fantastic scenery. There's several tiny villages up here in Connemara and houses scattered across the countryside, but there's no real cities to speak of. You see a lot of the old Ireland here, the thatch roof and the stone walls and streams flowing to the sea. This is salmon country, lobster fishing country, and here's a pile of peat, which is still a major source of fuel for the fireplaces of Ireland. In the drive around Connemara, you're constantly in touch with the sea and tiny villages nestled in the hillside overlooking the ocean. These communities rely on fishing as well as tourism in the season. You'll always find a neighborhood pub. Then we ran into a shopkeeping couple who thought maybe our TV cameras were going to make them rich and famous.
Coming up next.
People in the States gets a lot of money for that type of thing now, so maybe we could arrange for it to sign on the dotted line.
Make you a TV star.
We passed through several sleepy little villages on this journey, from Barna to Carna, including other villages named Screeb and Turlow. But mostly, this is a drive that passes through open countryside. You get to see the rolling hills, the pleasant mountains in the background of Connemara, coastal views at your left as you drive along, in a neighborhood that does not see very many tourists. These cows think they own the road here, and they probably do. After all, they were born and raised right in the field next door. So you've got to drive slowly and watch out for the animals and watch the animals and enjoy them as you travel along. Move over, Bessie. This is not a place to be in a rush. You don't want to be in a hurry when you're traveling in the west of Ireland. Here we are in Connemara, you can see on the map. We're just north of the city of Galway. Connemara is a part of County Galway, and it's in the west of Ireland, as you see, which is probably the most beautiful and most rural, untouched part of this country. In the west of Ireland, it's the Gaeltacht. They still speak the original Irish language, Gaelic. And as well, they speak English, of course, so that you can very easily communicate. There are some beaches. You might even be lucky to find a spot of sunny weather while you're here. This was filmed in early July, and the temperatures are quite pleasant, ranging from the mid-60s to the mid-70s. And we found this region lives a very traditional lifestyle. Even their transportation is old-fashioned. There are some very scenic views from what's known as the Sky Drive, just to the northwest of the town of Clifton. The road wraps around the shoreline here, and there's various places you can pull over and just relax and gaze out to the sea. You might bring a picnic lunch along and spread it out on the green lawns nearby. You're most welcome. These roads are quite narrow, and like us, you'll have to get used to driving on the left side of the road, which puts the steering wheel on the right side of the car. So everything's a little backwards here, combined with these narrow, bumpy roads. And pebbles might fly, so be sure to get insurance for your rental car. As you can see, the scenery makes it all worth the effort. And you won't find a lot of other tourists. There's no traffic jams to speak of here. Even in the towns, here's the main town of Clifton, population of about 1,000. It's the unofficial capital of Connemara, and the streets are lined with shops and pubs and coffee shops. There's gift stores here, and there's a tourist information center. Some tinkers and their babies. There are several hotels in town and an abundance of smaller bed and breakfasts and restaurants in the area that will keep you happy. And you can make bookings for them right in the tourist information center that you'll find in town. There's the Alcock and Brown Hotel, and there's the Clifton Bay Hotel with nice views of the water. More likely you'll soon be back out on the road, having just stopped in Clifton for a bite to eat or perhaps a picnic lunch that you can take along with you and spread out along one of the scenic coastal spots here. One of the reasons this area is so beautiful is that large-scale tourism has not yet arrived. So you still have this peaceful tranquility of Ireland as it always has been. There's no huge tour buses because they just can't navigate these tiny narrow roads. So if you want to see this and similar places in rural Ireland, you'll need to rent a car and strike out on your own, and it's really not that difficult to drive on the left once you've tried it and gotten used to it. Well, there are some smaller tour operators who provide tours in minivans, so perhaps 8 or 10 people in a van, and there you can successfully navigate these little back roads. You'll find that Ireland is a perfect place to take a holiday. There's a wide variety of scenic attractions. The people are most friendly and talkative. It's easy to understand them most of the time. And there's big cities, small towns, little villages, and the rural, scenic countryside. You can do a fishing holiday or a golfing holiday. Perhaps rent some bicycles and go bicycle touring in Ireland. It's a very popular way to see the place. It takes at least a week to have a good view of Ireland from north to south. You could drive it in one day, actually. You're never more than about 40 miles from the ocean in Ireland. You can drive from Dublin on the east to Galway on the west in just 3 hours. But you don't want to rush yourself while you're here. After all, you've come to fit into the pace of the local lifestyle and enjoy yourself.